Now, I'm sure you're wondering, well, how did you get out of the orphanage? Well, let me tell you, it was rather simple. The way it worked was that what was happening to me is one of the Morris girls, Pearl, worked at the Halifax shipyards, and I would see her every day, sometime during the day when she was coming home, and she would save me some of her lunch. I'd put my hand through the fence and she'd give me some lunch. But on top of it, there was a number of other people that worked at the Halifax shipyard that lived around the area that I lived around Oak Street. And they used to save me some of their lunches as well. But what happened was I was with my brother one night, and the matron leaned out the window, and she yelled down to me and says, "What are you doing outside? You're supposed to be in bed with the younger kids." And I said, "Well, I always stay outside with my brother Laurie." And, anyway, she says, "You get in here and you get to bed." So anyway, I turned and said to my brother, I says, "Listen, I'm going to run away. Don't squeal on me. And I'm out of here." So off I went, and I ran from the orphanage, which is quite a ways down near the waterfront, so you have to go up a lot of hills to get up to Windsor Street. And I think it was Windsor. Yeah, Windsor. Anyway, I ran along that street all the way over to Pearl's house. And I actually collapsed in the back porch of her place in her kitchen. And so her husband wasn't home yet, Rich, and so she didn't know what to do. I was crying. I was all upset. She called the children's aid, or called the orphanage, to tell them where I was. And then her husband came home, and I explained that I had run away and that I did not want to stay in the orphanage anymore. Anyway, he drove me back to that orphanage that night, and when I came through the door, it was just like you see in the movies. There was all these kids on the stairway. My brother Laurie was at the bottom of the stairs. And I walked up to him and I said, "So you squealed on me." And all he said to me was, "Yeah," he says, "but I love you." I said, "Oh, okay." And upstairs I went to the dormitory. Anyway, the next thing that had happened is I had to go down and see this Mr. Blue from the Children's Aid. I went to his office, and he starts saying to me, "Oh, no, you have to stay in the orphanage, and, you got to stop running away." And I said to him, I says, "There's no way you're going to keep me in the orphanage, so, either send me home to Oak Street, or I'll be running away every night." So he says, "Okay, well, let me work on it." Anyway, so what happened is he got in touch with Mrs. Morris, and even though she was sick, she actually took me back. And so that was 1953. I think she passed away in 1957. So I spent a few good years with her. But I do have a story to tell you about what she made, her promise she made her daughters do on her deathbed.